good to come to you again. See you later. No flags down on the field. Metro Channel 11 presents the High School Football Game of the Week. Tonight from Big Arch Country at Trojan Stadium on the campus of Northwest Cabarrus High School, it's the Trojans hosting the Wonders from A.L. Brown of Kannapolis. It's a big conference game you wait all year to live for, and the electricity certainly in the air. Good evening, everyone. Along with Woody Kane, I'm Randy Whitley. And Woody, the Trojans come in hoping to score any kind of a point for the first time in 3 years off of Bruce Harden team.
Well, they really do, Randy. There are several storylines involved in this game. The first one is the one that you mentioned. Over the past 2 games, Kannapolis has outscored Northwest Cabarrus by a total of 167-0. So getting on the scoreboard is going to be job one for Northwest Cabarrus. In addition to that, in or out, that means which team is thinking about the playoffs and which team is not. For all intents and purposes, this is a playoff-type atmosphere. Kannapolis playing for the top seed, Northwest playing to make sure they get into the playoffs. And then finally in our storylines, which game is the big game? For Northwest, they've been pointing to this game all season long. Kannapolis, their big game every year is the Bell game. That comes next week. There may be a little bit of looking ahead from the Wonders tonight. Generally, they don't do that kind of thing, but you never know.
Well, and the other intangible, it's Halloween weekend.
It really is, and all kinds of craziness can happen. Another thing to watch out for, though, Randy, coming into this game, Glenn Padgett will meet Bruce Harden for the first time as a head coach. This may be his first and only chance to beat Bruce Harden because there's all kinds of speculation and rumors going around that Bruce Harden may step down after this year. Who knows?
Well, we'll find out. We'll have more on our pregame with Northwest and Kannapolis coming up when our coverage continues in just a minute. Much anticipated matchup here in the last time in the millennium. Northwest Cabarrus and A.L. Brown. Electricity, excitement. You couldn't ask for much more. Almost a state championship type playoff atmosphere. Glenn Padgett, what was his thoughts? He's the head man at Northwest. We talked to him just a minute ago.
Thanks, Randy. I'm caught up with Glenn Padgett, head coach for the Northwest Trojans. Glenn, it's a big game tonight for you.
It's a big game. It's every game this year seems to have been big, and this is no exception. Kannapolis brings a lot to the table. They're the #1 ranked team in the state, and they're undefeated. And it's a great challenge, but it's a great opportunity for our football team and program.
It is a great challenge. The Kannapolis comes in here. I believe they've allowed 7 points in the last 4 games. I believe 2 straight shutouts. You guys are pretty explosive on your offense, averaging about 25 points a game. What's your thoughts?
Key for us is execution on offense. We've got to be able to pick up their stunts. They do a good job of stunning with their defensive front and their linebackers, and we've got to be able to pick those stunts up and mix up our pass and run such that we keep them off balance, not put ourselves in situations where they know we have to pass the football to be able to be successful. So offensively, that's our plan right now, is mix the pass and the run and see what happens.
With your team, what's the attitude of the kids? I know you don't have to get them up. They're up for this game. Anytime Kannapolis comes to town, no matter where, you get up for the game. What's the attitude of the boys?
Well, they're excited. They're looking at this as a great opportunity. You know, like we said a moment ago, the #1 team in the state and defending conference champion, and it's a great opportunity for us. There's not a lot of pressure on us, and we just got to go out and play and execute, have fun, play hard, limit our mistakes on defense, and respond to their big plays. That's a key for us tonight. They're so explosive on offense that they're going to have some big plays, and of course when they do, a key for us is our defensive ability to respond on the next play and the next play.
Coach, health-wise, are the Trojans 100%?
Well, we've got the usual bumps and bruises for this time of year, but we're pretty healthy.
There you go. And like you say, going up there and play a good solid game, fundamentals, and bring home a W. Good luck. Good luck to you.
Too. Appreciate it.
Okay, thanks for having us out. Okay, guys, back to you.
Okay, thanks, Steve. Kannapolis 9-0, 6-0 in the conference. Northwest 4-2 and 7-2 overall. The best the Trojans can do, 6-2. The worst Kannapolis can do is 6-2 in the final regular season. We caught up with another guy who has an instrumental part as far as Kannapolis coaching is concerned, and these were his comments.
Thanks, Randy. We called the Wonders assistant coach Jeremy Ryan. Jeremy, I don't have to tell you, this is a big game tonight.
We need to have this. it's a game that we need to win. It has playoff implications.
Jeremy, you guys have marched through the SBC Conference undefeated, 8-0, a lofty perch. The last 4 weeks, your defense has really stepped up. What have you changed?
Well, the kids just focused on their fundamentals. I mean, the idea was we're just going to play a solid fundamental base defense, and we're going to get beat with our best people on the field.
Yeah, it's a big game for Northwest. They're hungry. They want to go to the playoffs also. Big game for them. What's it going to take? What's going to take to walk out of here tonight with a victory?
It's going to take discipline on our part. I mean, they're going to run. They may run some trick plays. They're going to spread you out. They may try to throw it. They try to run. We're going to have to stop all facets of the game in order to be successful.
Health-wise, how's the Wonders?
Bruised up because it's that time of year, but everybody's for the most part healthy, and I think we're ready to go.
You know, Northwest is hungry. They want to beat you guys. You guys want to come out of here with a win. You said fundamentals is the key. You talked about big plays on their part. What about you guys? Any trick plays?
Well, no, we're going to line up and come at you, and then if you can stop us, then you're the better team.
Okay, Jeremy, we'll let you get back to work, and thanks for talking to us.
Thank you very much.
Okay, guys, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Steve. As we're still getting set, getting warmed up, so to speak, here at Northwest Cabarrus, Big Orange Country. Woody, let's look at maybe some particular keys to this game. And boy, that's a big key in any county, Brian.
No doubt, it always is. Defense, a big key indeed. For Northwest, they have to keep this from turning into a runaway like it has been the past couple of years. They also will need to get some penetration tonight. Guys like Willard, guys like Corey Mercer will have to get in the Kannapolis backfield. Last week in the first half, Kannapolis had a little trouble protecting Justin Harden. Special teams, both coaches mentioned that, both coaching staffs did on headliners earlier in the week. Special teams often decide games of this magnitude. Kannapolis always noted for excellent special teams play. Then as we look on down the list, loitering made legal, and that means Northwest has a tendency to kind of hang around in games, and when you think you've got them beat, you find out you don't. So if they hang around tonight, they'll have a chance to win this game. The next up on our list, the 12th man. Last year was at Kannapolis, and we all know what happened there, 97-0. This one comes to Trojan country. Lots of orange and black in the stands, and they are already vocally behind their team. And finally, as you mentioned, Randy, trick or treat. It's almost Halloween, and that means some kind of craziness may come to play in this contest tonight. Turnovers, who knows? Something wacky is always going to happen.
Well, you know the streak will end eventually. It's been over 2 decades since Northwest Cabarrus have played a little trick on the A.L. Brown Wonders of Kannapolis. It could very well happen tonight. We'll be back to take a look at more in just a moment. Back at Trojan Stadium, Northwest Cabarrus High School, about ready for one of the most exciting and electrifying moments in any kind of sports when the teams take the field. The co-captains getting set to meet at the center of the field here momentarily. There you see Northwest Cabarrus. That is Robbie Cook, number 99 on the left, leading that. He's an outstanding defensive player. As the Wonders make their appearance, there's the Wonders co-captains, been out here for quite some time, and now the Trojans make their appearance. This is kind of like a la Michigan State and Ohio State, isn't it?
Well, it's a playoff atmosphere indeed, Randy, because once you get to this stage of the year, the games are like playoff games. It all has to do with positioning and seeding going into the playoffs, and for all intents and purposes, this week really begins the playoffs. Maybe not single elimination-wise, but it can determine whether you go or not.
Throw in the fact the Wonders, as you see them across the far way, ranked number 1 in the 3A poll throughout much of the season. That's just an added little spice in the stew. Referee Bob Moore will lead the co-captains out to the center of the field for the introduction and the coin toss to see who's going to kick this one off. And I guess it will be a key. Both offenses used to scoring a lot of points.
Captain, shake hands with Captain Jones. Rest of you shake, please. All right, white, black, penalties. Let me have the captain. I'll explain the option to you. If you don't understand, you let me know and I'll repeat it, all right? Your first choice will be your choice. If you don't know what to do, I'll tell you what to do. Obvious situations, I'll go ahead and do it. If I do something you don't want, you let me know, and we'll talk about it, okay? If you will, Captain, call the coin good and loud in the air. I have a tail here, and this is the head. I'm going to catch it. If I miss it, I'll pick it up and do it again. He said heads. It is a head. He has won the toss. He wants the ball. If you'll come around here. Mike will receive. Have a good ball game, boys. Good luck to you.
Didn't take Justin Harden long to make up his mind whether they were going on offense or defense. And let's speak of that. Let's take a look at the lineups for you tonight.
Well, dominated by a couple of seniors, Kerwan Kirkpatrick and Chad Lambert. Their anchor things on the offensive line for the Wonders. As you look in the backfield, Justin Harden went over 1,000 yards passing last week. Lipscomb, Marcelo Standback, he has gone over 1,000 yards now, 16 touchdowns as well there, and an excellent group of skill players for the Wonders. Then on defense, for Northwest Cabarrus, the defensive line, a guy to watch tonight, Corey Mercer, one of the captains on this team, 6'1", 240 pounds, and a senior. Then as we look at the linebackers and defensive backs, Robbie Cook recovered a fumble last week, and a lot of seniors in there. The defensive backs, all about 5'10" or smaller. Kannapolis' receivers should have a little bit of a size advantage as we look down the roster there, and we're almost ready to get this one underway.
Number 10, Ryan Staten teased that ball up ever so gingerly here. Northwest dressed in their Halloween black with the gold and white, and there must be 1 million pom-poms. I think they're out of them already. Orange pom-poms bedeckling the stadium. Marcus Ribbons, number 22, and Marcello Standback, 25, are back deep, and we are underway. This will go down to the goal line. Ribbons in the end zone, so he
wanted the opportunity to bring that one back out, Randy. Last week, he ran one 66 yards for a touchdown on a punt, so you know he can go all the way.
So the offense sets up shop. First down and 10 at the 20-yard line, and once these players get a few series in, I guess the jitters and the adrenaline kind of subside somewhat.
Well, there is indeed electricity in the air tonight. You can just feel it.
Justin Harden, number 16, directs the offense. He's got over 200 yards rushing himself. The Wonders will work it from the I formation with 2 receivers split to the top. Tailback, Standback gets a good block and then is really bumped, but after about 5 or 6 yards on the play, it was Robbie Cook, the senior defensive end, coming up to make the hit. We watch it again.
Good blocking there. They seal it off and allow Standback to turn the corner, but then Northwest pursued it very, very well and was able to keep him from getting the first down.
Giving 5. There you see Bruce Harden watching his senior sons out there operating. Just a thrill, gotta be. Toss sweep, big side. Here comes Caldwell. He's got room. First down and more to the 41-yard line. Wrestled to the ground by Jason Hefner, who caught him from behind and rode him down.
He sure did, but again, the Wonders did an excellent job to seal this one off. And you see out there leading the way, trying to find somebody to block, was Duron Lipscomb, and he couldn't find anybody to hit. That's what a good job the Wonder offensive line did.
Caldwell, part of that 1-2 combination of the Wonder backfield. He's rushed for nearly 700 yards. Not bad for a guy who gets maybe half the carries that Standback would get. Now it's a single setback, double wing. Now they flop it back to the eye with Caldwell, the deep back. And it will be Harden with the keeper for about 3. 45-yard line. Over there, just in case, was Jason Hefner. Once again, with diversity on offense, we've seen 3 different type plays already.
And a good ball fake again. That's something that a lot of younger quarterbacks, Randy, don't do that well. They just think you go through the motions on those fakes, but the whole idea is to try to get the defense to bite on that and give yourself a little seam, and that's what Justin Harden did. There's Coach Glenn Padgett directing his defense.
Kannapolis with a little bit of indecision on offense. Now Caldwell late getting in, and Kannapolis will be forced to burn a timeout because only 7 seconds were left on the play clock. The clock shows 10:18 remaining, first quarter just underway. Trojan Stadium. There you see it. 2nd and 6 facing the white-cladded Wonders at their own 45-yard line. Single setback, and now they'll send Caldwell back to the tailback slot. And he'll get the pitch. They'll go big side. Good block on the corner. Stand back will be near a first down. Or excuse me, Caldwell just over midfield near the 49-yard line of Northwest.
No, but it's good that you mentioned stand back, Randy, because he was the guy that made that block you were talking about, and he did an excellent job on Robbie Cook on the left side there to help spring a first down play, or what came very close to being a first down play.
A lot of people are saying, well, I thought they retired Nick Maddox's number 20. We understand it's on loan because Caldwell is Nick's cousin.
Other than that, forget it.
Exactly. 3rd and very short.
Watch Harden keep it.
And he does. Woody call it. We have seen this offense with this guy running it for a couple of years now. And
well, you remember last year in the playoffs, Randy, he just started doing this a lot. When he would see a seam, he has the freedom to take that on his own, and he was very, very successful. You know, he's been such a prolific passer this year, throwing for over 1,000 yards. A lot of people forget how well he can run.
The audibilization factor of an experienced quarterback, another weapon that the Wonders throw at you. On 1st down and 10 at the 48, here is Harden coming down the line, keeps it, sees the hole open up. He's got 5, he's got 10, 15, bumped out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Over there defensively, Philip Jackson making the tackle, but Harden just ate him for lunch that time.
He sure did. Watch number 6, Gerald McCray, right here. He's trying to cover the pitch that time, but Harden just takes it and runs right by him and makes good yardage down the field. And he really got a grinding hit at the end of that one, too.
16 yards on the carry, and the Wonders with another first down as we tick down near 9 minutes to go. Opening drive of the ball game here in the first quarter.
Prince McCoy, number 39, is checked into the backfield now for the Wonders at fullback.
In for Lipscomb. Standback is the tailback this time. And Marcello with the call just covers up and goes to the 30-yard line, center of the line, led by the outstanding Corey Mercer on defense, wearing 33 tonight.
And you just see a great penetration, or a great push, rather, by the Wonder offensive line to get him a few yards upfield. The Trojans did do a good job of sealing it off after the initial gain, however. But this is something that even though Kannapolis is moving down the field, you know, Northwest had to be thinking, well, at least things haven't gotten away from us early like they have the past couple of years. They've come out to play hard tonight.
2nd down and 7. Harden bumps out. Now he options out. Stand back with some room. Heads for the 6. Bumped out of bounds. Look out, he's in the percussion section.
Yeah, I think a drum set got run over on that side.
Maybe a little different sounding at halftime.
Now watch this. The idea for Harden is to draw the defense and then pitch. He sees 3 guys keying on him and then pitches out. And man, what a lick at the end of that. And you see band members saying, not me, I'm not taking a hit. Forget it.
The tuba section took a hard tumble there. We've got a injured Trojan on the field. Looks like Phil Jackson is the guy who is shaken up right now. 8:22 remaining first period. Will take a timeout as well.
The drawing right now is $480. Be a lot larger than that at halftime.
As we return to Trojan Stadium, good news is Philip Jackson appears to be okay, although very woozy coming off the sidelines just moments ago. 1st down and 10 now for Kannapolis at the 21-yard line. We are in the red zone, folks. Let's see if it gets a little bit harder here on in for Kannapolis. Toss, right side, big hole. Caldwell got 10. He's inside the 10. Hefner with the tackle with the 9.
Indeed he did, Randy, and the Wonders are doing an outstanding job of sealing off the ends to allow their backs to turn it upfield. Again, you see Caldwell taking off, Lipscomb out leading the way, and he couldn't find anybody to hit.
They have been doing that this entire drive. Of course, adjustments made throughout the game. But right now, Bruce Harden's got to be happy with his offensive scheme so far. 1st and goal, Wonders at the 9-yard line. Single setback. Now back to the eye with Caldwell, the deep man. He'll get the toss. Gets a block from Lipscomb and ran into his own man. May have had more down at about the 5-yard line. Tackle that, the tackle credited to the Kannapolis offense that time, Woody.
Well, Standback and Lipscomb were both over there blocking that time, and it looked like Caldwell had a little bit of trouble making up his mind which way he wanted to go.
So now it sets up 2nd down.
Bring up 2nd to go on the 9-yard line.
May have gained a yard there. Let's call it right at the 8. Harden does the option and keeps it, cuts it inside the 5, depending on the spot. I'm going to say about the 3, Woody. So here's a big play coming up now. 3rd and goal at the 3.
Indeed it is, and again, you've got to honor that pitch, and that's what Harden is counting on. He wants to make you think he's going to pitch it, and if you leave him a little seam, he found enough room to get it close to the goal line there.
He's kind of like a little mosquito. He just gets it in little bitty chunks, just pecks and bites on you and aggravates you, and then...
He really does. He's the kind of guy that makes defensive players really want to get a clean shot at him, but you never seem to.
Fans on their feet. 3rd and goal from the 3. It'll be called, well, touchdown, Kannapolis.
It looked like they had a shot at him in the backfield, Randy, but Caldwell found room to get it in the end zone.
That is his 11th touchdown on the season, and here's how it went.
Take a look. Mercer got in there, but you see him clapping his hands. He just missed him when he made some penetration there.
Now it will be Rush Robbins in out of the hold of Blair Harden to try to tack on the extra point.
Number 28, Rollins.
Good snap, spot and hold. The kick is true. An 80-yard drive. 6:17 to go in the first period, and the Wonders have jumped out on top. Welcome back to Trojan Stadium, Big Orange Country, and now the Trojans get a chance to answer the Wonders' first punch in this battle of the heavyweights, Woody.
And what a impressive, time-consuming drive that was for the Kannapolis Wonders, Randy. They just marched right down the field, took a lot of time off the clock, and took control of this game.
The middle back and the threesome back there is Jason Bennett, and it looks like it'll be Bennett at about the 8-yard line, looking for some room, steps out of a tackle, and will get out to about the 24-yard line. So we will finally get a chance halfway through the first quarter to check out the offensive lineups. First for Northwest.
Well, as you look at their offensive line, almost all juniors except for Will Jones. He's the captain among that unit. Ryan Woodham having an outstanding year, 3 touchdown passes a week ago. Chris Willard over 100 yards last week as well. Then you look at the Wonder defensive front, a senior-dominated unit there. Des Williams, Coach Harden said he felt like he had his best game last week. Then you look at the skill players there. Marcus Rivens, as we mentioned, had a 66-yard punt return last week. Ryan Kraft and Charlie Fox there, Randy, had 2 interceptions each a week ago against East Rowan, and we've got one of the Kannapolis players hurt. It looks to be Michael Anthony.
We will double check on that. We have a break in the action, 6:11 to go, first quarter. We return to Trojan Stadium, a very serious moment here. Michael Anthony, we understand, Woody, is the Wonder who was injured, and he's being placed in the ambulance, and he will get some more medical treatment, as will Philip Jackson, who was injured just a few minutes before this kickoff. He's been came off under his own power, but I guess this is just a precaution now.
Yeah, and we didn't see it on camera, but during our break, Jackson did walk off under his own power. He was limping, he was in some pain, but now they're going to make sure that everything's okay and secure him to the board and take him out as well. But a real serious injury on Michael Anthony, it appears, but, you know, anytime you start talking about head, neck, spinal column injuries, you want to take all the precautions possible, so we're not going to, you know, speculate as to the injury itself, only to say, suffice to say that they're taking every precaution they can.
So we are back, and they will still have to load these guys in and transport, and we're still just a few minutes away from the resumption of Northwest and Kannapolis. We'll be right back. We are back and just about ready to resume play here at Northwest Cabarrus High School as Philip Jackson is being loaded into the ambulance and will be taken down for some precautionary observations.
Part of the deal, though, is, Randy, they had to make sure that another ambulance was here in case something else happens. They're loading both guys into the same ambulance there, and they had to bring the other one down to make sure that there are medical personnel on hand in case there's another serious injury, you know, you can't just take off and forget about the guys who are still playing.
Probably the first time I can ever remember since we've been doing these games is to see Ryan Woodham, the Northwest quarterback. You had two within just a couple of plays of one another, and it's a hard-hitting affair, and of course that's the chance. It is a contact sport, and injuries do occur.
And what had become a raucous crowd, you know, there was just a buzz in the stadium, now has just gone very, very quiet. It's indeed taken the edge off of the crowd, and that's to be expected when you see two guys get carted off the field like that. And we've had a delay of more than 15 minutes now while they've gotten things underway. There's Bruce Harden. He came out to check on his player out there, Michael Anthony. I understand Michael's parents came down out of the stands to check on him and make sure he was okay. They were concerned about the neck area, but they are going to take him to the hospital for a check to make sure that everything's okay, and they're loading both guys in there now. And we're just a few moments away from getting back underway. They have put 6 minutes and 12 seconds back on the clock. It ticked a little bit beyond that when the injury occurred. And the interesting thing about it is Michael Anthony's the kicker, and you know, he was right there in the thick of it. You know, these high school guys, man, they want to be right in the middle of it and forget about that I'm a kicker, get out of the way stuff. He wanted to get down there and make a play.
We certainly wish our best wishes for these kids. We've seen another serious injury several weeks ago during a Concord game with one of the Spider offensive linemen, and he made he was, you know, injured obviously seriously, but not as bad as we originally thought, and that's why you just don't want to speculate. Glenn Pageant obviously concerned not only for his player but for the Wonder player as well.
And he went out onto the field to check on the injured Wonder Anthony, and the trainers from both schools were out there checking on him to make sure that, you know, everything was being done that could be done, and we'll just have to trust the medical professionals now, and the officials, I think, are about ready to get this one underway. The problem is the other ambulance is still partially in the end zone back there, so they need to get it clear before they can resume play, and the officials are standing down there staring at the empty ambulance that's going to stay here with us to get them to move out of the way before we can get underway, and there it goes.
It is hard to believe, though, after all we've been here, it seems like all this time, Northwest is still yet to run an offensive play. They're going to get their offense in gear. Coach Woodham, but Ryan Woodham, the quarterback. Obviously, these kids, as you said, the emotional edge, they're pumped up and everything, and you got to almost warm up again.
Yeah, you really do. And keep in mind, it was 15, 20 minutes when the players from both teams were just having to stand around and wait for the medical people to do their job. Not that there's anything wrong with, you know, taking that time. You want to be safe, but still.
Up the middle, they look for some room. Out to the 27-yard line goes the Trojans. Roseboro, who is the leading rusher in this backfield. Shelton has done a tremendous job with the football this season for a youngster.
He looked like he got tripped up right around the line of scrimmage.
I'll give him 3 on the play. You see Ryan Woodham. He's had a good year. Now he'll roll the pass. Hits the man, that's Mooney. He spins, but cannot get away from Lipscomb, and the Wonder pursuit catches him at about the 29-30-yard line is where they'll say his forward progress was spotted.
Well, he was out there, Randy, and he was open, but as soon as he caught the ball, the Wonders were all over him. Josh Money, the wide receiver, and there you see 3-4 Wonders getting it on the end of that play.
You mentioned Harden, who had done a good job, over 1,000 yards. Woodham actually has more yardage. He's almost 1,100 on the season and 16 touchdowns. So couldn't ask for a much better matchup at quarterback with these two teams. 3rd and 5. They'll have 2 wide to the right of your screen here. Woodham looking over the middle. Mooney off his fingertips, and boy, he almost avoided a major collision that time. Looked like Rivens was there.
It was Charlie Fox that hit him at the end of the play. The ball was a little high, and he really had no chance at it. But watch the collision after this, right there. That was Charlie Fox who was there to let him know, hi, I'm going to be here all night.
The disadvantage of a receiver when you cut across and into the middle there.
Now, Rivens is going to be back deep for the Wonders. Remember, he ran one back 66 yards for a score on Easter Iran a week ago.
The Trojans get it away. A beautiful kick by Brandon Smith. Rivens at the 29. The wall looks like it's set up, and he's got some room. Gets it blocked, tripped up at the 30-yard line. It was the kicker, Brandon Smith, who kept him from scoring. Special teams, it's already risen.
A great open field job by the punter, Brandon Smith. As you mentioned, Randy, the wall forms and nobody is even getting close to him here. Now watch Smith just get an ankle right there, and it was just enough to trip him up.
So
you don't see this every day. He fought off a block to make a touchdown-saving tackle right there. Just got enough of a leg to get him down.
Lee Basinger was the guy who was providing that final block, and they were having a duel downfield, and that kept 6 off the board.
Now we got a new quarterback in for Kannapolis. Don't know what happened to Hart, but it's Josh Lee, looks like.
Josh Lee, and there you see the difference in the cadence already with the new man. Josh Lee, of course, an outstanding linebacker for the Wonders, a great athlete, but he did pilot a very successful JV team last year, so he's not a stranger to...
Now watch the line take off a little early. There they go. And I don't see Harden on the sidelines anywhere. I'm looking around to see if he's standing up or...
Well, you just don't know what happened.
Yeah.
We didn't see him get injured on the field in their last drive. Lee sets him down, and
they left early again.
There's another 5 years.
That's just a difference in the quarterback cadence. The first time it was the right side. That time it was the left side of the line that took off a little bit early. Watch him again. They were already moving there, but that side took off too soon, indeed.
So the Wonders now will have to overcome a 1st and 20 situation as it's backed all the way out to the 38-yard line. And Lipscomb will check back into the backfield for the Wonders. As you see, what do you call that, a raucous crowd? We hear them. Raucous, okay. Stand back is the tailback. And Lee will keep it under pressure, pumps it out, underthrown, and the pressure was the reason that one probably wasn't completed.
And the pressure came from Corey Mercer. He was right in front of Josh Lee that time, and he had no chance to make this play. Watch this. He just rides right by the block, and the rollout there was designed for Josh to roll a little bit, and you had out front leading that one, Kerwan Kirkpatrick, but it almost looked like Lee rolled so far that it made it easy for Mercer to get off the block and get to him.
Ryan Kraft and Blair Harden are split to the top. As a wideout, single setback this time is stand back on 2nd and 20. Lee with time. Going deep. He's got a man behind the coverage, and it is Kraft. Touchdown Wonders.
Amazing.
Ryan Kraft hauls it in, and that is his 7th touchdown of the year, his 14th catch.
And they just flat lost him, Randy. They bit at the line of scrimmage thinking it was run, and there's Robbie Cook. He came up thinking it was going to be a run, and next thing he knew, Kraft had run right past him. For what, 3-4 plays there, the Wonder offense looked like they couldn't find their shoelaces, and then they burned you with a big deep pass. Look at that bad snap.
Snap is high. Now Blair Harden runs for his life, says, well, let me see. I got to throw this thing. And he throws it up for grabs in the end zone, batted down by Brandon Smith, but not a bad throw under heavy pressure. So nullify the extra point conversion. So the Wonders with a reserve quarterback come in. And
look at that. My goodness.
He ran about
He had no chance
yards
to make that play, and he's fortunate to get anything going there, but on the snap, I mean, the holder had no opportunity to even catch that ball.
3:47 remaining here in the first period, so the Wonders have jumped down 13-0, scoring on the run, and now the pass, and you saw the arm of Josh Lee, who is an outstanding athlete. The Wonders really don't lose much as far as passing is concerned and athleticism when they bring in the second-string quarterback. As I said, Lee, an experienced guy, and led a very good, talented JV team all year long last year.
Yeah, well, however, he didn't expect to find himself in this situation. You know, you've got to be ready, but everything seemed to be clicking right along with Harden, and then we don't know what happened to him. He just kind of vanished. We didn't see him limp off the field or anything like that. He just didn't come back out.
You don't think he's pulling the Nick Maddox, I'm sick on my stomach thing? It could, possibility. You never know. Let's hope it's not serious.
And a new kicker now, too, Randy.
And that is Saquon Moody. And the Trojans will move it out to about the 32, 34-yard line. So that's where their second offensive series will start. Mooney, the guy returning it there.
Check it out again. Watch the pass. And you see at the top of your picture there, Cook stayed facing the line of scrimmage thinking that was going to be a run. And he didn't get much help from the safety, Brandon Smith, back there that time. And it was off to the races for Kraft.
So the second series starts up here with Ryan Woodham working at the 34-yard line. And he gives it to the first back, and he got maybe a yard. That Wonder interior defense, very tough, led by a guy with about as big a numbers they've got on the roster, Des Williams, number 90.
Indeed, and there you see him making the play there. And as we mentioned in the beginning, Coach Harden said he felt like Des played perhaps his best game of the season a week ago.
Shutouts, 3 of the last 4 opponents. The Wonder defense has shut them out, and then actually only 7 points relinquished in the last 4 games. A shoulder problem we now understand on Justin Harden. Here's the pass, and it is complete, short of the first down.
Dusty Carmichael.
Carmichael, the favorite target all year long for Northwest Cabarrus with his 34th catch of the year.
Or check it, Jason Hayes. My mistake, Randy. Jason Hayes made the catch, not Carmichael.
Okay, we'll give credit where it's due there. And now we have a third down and about 2, on 2. This is key for Northwest. They need to sustain a drive.
Well, another thing to keep in mind, Randy, is that Josh Lee is a starting inside linebacker. He's now the quarterback as well. You got to wonder how well he's going to hang in there.
Breaking a tackle and getting the first down with good second effort is Mr. Willard. First time he has carried the ball tonight. And
Willard is just a big play guy, Randy. He had 104 yards on only 10 carries a week ago. We've seen him break big play after big play. You know, when you kind of forget about him and you think he's not going to do anything, that's when he burns you, both offensively and defensively. He plays nose guard, Randy. This guy, Willard, only 180 pounds, 5'9", and he plays nose guard a lot on defense.
The initial first down of the game for Northwest is they're marching at their 47-yard line. And guess who's got the ball? Woodham was a great faking. Upfield, receiver open and down. It is complete, though, and that is Mr. Carmichael that time.
And one of the reasons Dusty Carmichael is one of Woodham's favorite targets, Randy, is he's got good size. He's 6'2". He can see over most of the defensive backs. And you see him here. Excellent, excellent ball faking by Woodham. He had the Wonder defense looking 3 different directions that time and executed all those very well. There is Harden at the red toboggan back there in the back of your picture, being attended to on the sidelines.
Could have been a muscle pull, or we just don't know, but he's getting attention. The clock down to 2 minutes to go here in the first period. Northwest with their best drive of the game here. Woodham keeps it, and he's got room. He's got 5, about 7, maybe 8 yards. Slung down that time by Josh Lee, the linebacker.
And a great job of execution again by Woodham, Randy. Nice ball fake, and he keeps it. And the key to this is when he's moving downfield, watch him change hands. See that? To keep that ball on the outside and away from the defender. Smart play.
5 yards they are officially going to give him. I'll say, well, that's 6 yards. From the 39 to the 33, that's 6 yards. So second down, good yardage at any means on first down. Twin sets, 2 wide. Now they will send Smith in motion. And here's the slant pass, and it's complete.
How did that get through, Randy? I think somebody tipped that at the line of scrimmage. Blair Harden on the tackle, Carmichael with the catch. But I think somebody gets a hand on this at the line of scrimmage. Let's watch.
Yeah,
they did.
Actually, if he hadn't deflected it, it might have been behind the receiver.
Yeah.
Northwest with another key pickup and a first down, moving it to the Wonder 22-yard line as here they come back via the airways. And that little zone is in there, it looks like. Kannapolis giving them a little bit. And Woodham is an experienced enough quarterback, can take advantage.
Wonders moved.
Woodham with all day. Now it breaks down and they'll catch him at the 25-yard line as a huge roar goes up across the fairway. First time they've actually penetrated and got through to Woodham tonight.
Somebody jumped on the line of scrimmage, but evidently he got back in time. You got to wonder about the mindset of the Wonders now. They've seen their kicker be carted off on a stretcher. Their starting quarterback is on the bench being attended to. You've also had the big injury for Northwest Cabarrus, and keep in mind that may have had something to do with that long touchdown that Kannapolis got a while ago. One of their starting corners was not in the game, Jackson for Northwest.
Second down and 13. Woodham pressure, the blitz coming, they'll catch him.
And the blitzer was Lee. Well, Lee came up the middle on the blitz from the linebacker spot. They picked him up, but that meant they couldn't pick up Basinger. There were too many guys wearing white shirts to get blocked.
Well, it's been an interesting first 12 minutes. They will swap ends of the field, 13-0. A.L. Brown on top of Northwest. We'll return in just a moment. Trojan Stadium jam-packed to the hilt, electricity flowing, and action all over the field. And right now, I don't think there's ever no such thing as a good 3rd and 23 call, but we're going to see what Coach Padgett's come up with.
Northwest moved crisply down the field, Randy, rolling Woodham out. When they started to drop him straight back, Kannapolis was all over it.
Woodham with backside pressure, pumps, and in and out of the hands of the intended receiver down inside the 25-yard line.
I think it was Carmichael.
Yeah, Carmichael was covered that time over there by Blair Harden, but just trying, I think maybe took his concentration off just trying to stay in bounds.
Now you saw him coming up the middle. That was Lee, and then making the big sack at the end of the play was Lee Basinger, and he's a guy as well that the Kannapolis coaching staff feels like is getting better and better every week, and he showed you there he can get the job done.
Well, you are out of field goal range, obviously. It would be about a 50, 51-yard attempt if they tried it, so they're going to go for it. 4th and 23 here. What have you got to lose? The ball at the 33-yard line. Single setback for Woodham. Pressure coming. Under pressure, he throws and can't hit his receiver, and the Wonders will take over.
It was Basinger and Lee again, Randy, with the pressure that time that forced Woodham to get rid of it.
Well, don't you know the big defensive guys just salivate on 3rd and long and 4th and long, something like that. You know what's coming.
So Josh Lee will stay in the game at quarterback, and he's got the plays on his wrist there, and he's checking them as he comes to the huddle. And now Coach Glenn Padgett has to figure out an entirely different quarterback. They practiced all week to work against Harden, and now he's on the bench with an injury.
So Josh Lee sets him down here out of the I formation. Like a little movement by the left side of the Wonder line.
They can't, it seems like they just can't get used to Josh Lee's cadence. Everybody's taken off too early, and fortunately for him, he got it back. But that's something you often see when a new quarterback comes in, a missed exchange.
You look at the size difference, you say, well, not that big, but I want to tell you.
Lee is big.
Harden, 6 foot, 175, he's bulked up. 6'2", 200 pounds for Lee. He's bigger than most linebackers because he is a linebacker. You're trying to tackle this guy, and he gets up a full head of steam, so an advantage, I would say. 1st down and 15 from the 28-yard line. Wonders trying to sidestep. Nothing there for Standback as Northwest up waiting. Mercer, one of the first guys there, is to block it down.
Well, the Wonders did hit the big pass play to Kraft for a touchdown, Randy, but since Harden left the game, they look like a completely different team.
First time I can well, I don't know if he's missed a game since he started his varsity career.
I don't remember one. I mean, we've seen him get banged around some, because he runs a lot, but he always gets up and answers the bell.
2nd down and 15 again. Lee, play fake. Now pumps it upfield. What a catch. Wow. Complete 1st down at the 44-yard line of Northwest Cabarrus. Ryan Kraft is...
I don't know how he got that, Randy, because there were black shirts all around. Lee gets some good time to throw, and upfield, Kraft had to turn back the other way. That was Monty on the coverage downfield, along with, looked like maybe Smith, Brandon Smith, and there's Harden. And Randy, the way they're acting, I don't think he's coming back. It looks like he's through for the night.
Just do what you can and assess the damage and hope it heals. Ryan Kraft, big senior, rising to the top. We saw his brother a couple of years ago rise to the top at quarterback. So those boys have a football family here. Looked like movement, but I didn't see a flag. Standback goes down to the Trojan 43.
Well, right now, the Wonders are not very effective running the ball, Randy. They gained a few yards there, and getting up a little bit gimpy is Willard, number 22 in your picture there. But they haven't found a way to keep Lee from making a big strike downfield. Willard's going to have to come out of the game.
A little gimpy there under his own power.
Joey Hahn will go in to replace him, the senior.
Yeah, Josh Lee has thrown some ropes, I want to tell you. Toss, ball is loose. Northwest has it. Mercer got it. Caldwell mishandled the pitch. And the turnover goes over. The Trojans, I guess you could say, dodge a bullet.
Watch this. The pitch, well, that was a good pitch, Randy. He put it right where it needed to be. And for Kannapolis, Caldwell just didn't wrap it up. He was bobbling the ball as he got close to the line of scrimmage, and that's when they start thumping you, and the thing squirted out of there.
In a big key series there. You're up 13-0. You drive and try to stick another one in. Here we got 10 minutes to go in the first half. Another touchdown, and it don't look good. So maybe a momentum shift here. Northwest with great field position. Now they're going to try to stick one in, and they stick it up the middle, and whoops.
None of that.
What goes up comes down.
Well, he was met by a host of Wonders, including Josh Lee and Justin Chambers, among others. You know, last time, though, Northwest marched right down the field, and when they got close to the red zone, the Wonder defense just threw them backwards. And then it looked like, you know, they had crossed midfield. As you said, they were driving for what might have been a knockout blow or close to it. And suddenly the Trojans have new life coming back the other way.
3 wide receivers there. This time, the alignment. And the single setback with a slot on the right here for Bennett. Now a flag. Somebody lined up somewhere. In
maybe too much time?
Didn't see. Bob Moore, the referee, will bring over and make the call for us. Offsides against. Somebody lined up
over the ball, yeah.
The center can kind of do that. He can cheat a little bit, but if you're a guard or a tackle, you better be behind that football.
Well, Northwest uses a lot of different formations, a lot of different looks. They like to try and mix it up to keep the defense off balance. And every now and again, when you've got so many things to try and remember, you'll make a mistake.
2nd and 13, back to the 42 of Northwest. Woodham, good protection. Sidelines, complete. And down at the 48-yard line is Carmichael. Good pass. Woodham just drills it out there on a rope, and that's a tough pass to make. You've got to get some mustard on it, Woody.
Now watch Blair Hardin and Ron Lipscomb just meet him here at the end of this play and put him down. He did have some zip on that ball, but as far as it traveled, he only got, what, 3 yards?
Out to the 47, so it's 3rd down and 8. Glenn Padgett, Jimmy Gilroth, and the rest of the Northwest coaches.
Got to be wary of the blitz here.
And here it comes. And there he goes. So Woodham down. Wonders just came in untouched. Lee, along with Basinger, just said, well, pin the ears back and come.
Well, what's giving them a fit is Lee coming from the linebacker spot. When they do that, they try to pick up either he or Basinger. They're making a choice. They're not getting both of them. That time they didn't get either one of them.
And that will force a punt by Northwest. And on to do those honors is an outstanding kicker. Going to try to maybe even out the field position here as the junior Brandon Smith stands inside his own 30-yard line. Ribbons, who's already had an outstanding punt return tonight. And I'm going to kick it away from him, it looks like. It's out of bounds, and where it goes, nobody knows.
Oh, my goodness. He's going to spot that at about the 38-yard line?
Not a very good angle that time, as you see.
There's Dave Rose, our cameraman, and Lanny Nunn with him, and they were in line to catch that one. Lanny can't take it to the house anymore.
He's sure-handed, though. I would have feared. I think Lanny was getting ready for a fair catch.
He may have been. He didn't signal, though, so they could still hit him.
Gotta be careful, Lanny. 7:47 to go, first half. Wonders break it out with a 13-0 lead. As Josh Lee, who has been in except the first series for Kannapolis for the injured Justin Hardin, and now an official's timeout.
Wait a minute, what happened here?
I am not sure. Referee Bob Moore emphatically says, put the ball. Okay, they talked over the spot.
Okay. I was going to say, that seemed like an awful awful kind spot for Kannapolis that time, and now they've evidently talked it out. And you see Glenn Padgett there said, "Thank you."
It's a difference of about 8-9 yards, you know.
Yeah.
I think Jimmy Gilworth had anything to do with that. He don't miss many things over the sidelines either.
Games have been decided over less yardage than that.
Now the Wonders will slide back to the I formation.
They left early again, Randy. I think the left side took off early.
He's been leaving a lot early, and they haven't called him sometimes, but they did that time.
Maybe it was Kirkpatrick, number 77. Let's see.
You know, with the high school, they just don't signal out movement on the line by that guy, you know, number.
Coach Harden bringing in the fresh troops there with Lipscomb, and now he's got to adjust things to the strengths of Josh Lee, even though they have the same basic game plan, but every quarterback is different. They can do different things well. Lee obviously can throw the deep ball pretty well.
Yeah, haven't had any problem in that category. First down and 15 now, back at their own 25-yard line. Lee, play fake, with time, cuts it over the middle, complete, and shaking out of a tackle, a stand back, and he'll get up near the first down, out to the 40-yard line.
He got real close. It'll depend on the spot that time, but you saw in the backfield that time a little bit of a collision, and that's just a lack of reps. Watch this. That's just supposed to be a fake, but they collide back there, and that was just some nice moves upfield by Marcello Standback.
Get him out there one-on-one. It's even more dangerous when he's catching the football versus running it. It's almost not fair.
He's one of those guys who can make you get tired running around chasing him all night.
It is a Wonder first down as the spot was at the 41-yard line.
They left early again, Randy.
And there's the flags. Well, one thing about the offensive line coach, he can't fault the linemen for wanting to get a. I mean, they're on top of it. Just a little, and it's not really their fault as much as, you know, you got a new guy coming in.
It's getting used to his cadence, but they did indeed leave early, and I can't imagine what it would be that would be so markedly different from the way Harden calls. You know, you would think after a few plays they would get it right, but that's what, the 4th or 5th time?
And you want to get every advantage you can when you start to pull off the line and pull, but Coach Harden hopes that settles down as well. 1st and 15.
I think they did it again.
And again to stand back, he skips out of a couple of tackles. Got maybe about 2, possibly 3 that time, out to the 39-yard line.
Take a look again. See, it almost looked like Kirkpatrick took off a little bit early, but
he just wants to get out there early.
Well, he wants to find somebody to hit, no doubt. That he's a hitting machine. He plays hard every play.
At the 39-yard line, 2nd and 12, we'll call it. As the clock ticks down, about halfway through the second period.
Timeout.
Wonders Josh Lee a little bit undecided, so he does the next best thing and steps away and asks for the timeout. We'll step away as well. Pumpkins abound here on Halloween weekend, and we've got a good one for you.
Well, the Wonders' struggles continue with adjusting to Josh Lee, especially with the offensive line. And we don't know if they can't hear him well or if they're just kind of confused by the way his cadence is going or what.
It is 2nd and 12, 39-yard line. Lee gives it to Standback, trying to get outside and will not.
Oh, Robbie Cook.
Back at the 33-yard line. Cook will not be denied.
Watch this, Randy. You'll tune in sometime and see this on WWF SmackDown because he just grabs him and throws him to the grass there. Robbie Cook not to be denied on that one.
He doesn't miss many tackles if he gets that close to you. Outstanding senior. He made Daddy proud on that one. And now a timeout call by the officials, we believe.
And I don't understand what he's...
Okay, we have an equipment problem, one of the Wonder offensive linemen. And now he's back in there. Got a new chin strap there. And wind the
That
clock.
was Dustin Abercrombie who was coming in there after getting all the I's dotted and T's crossed.
Ball at the Kannapolis 33-yard line. The line to make is the 49 of Northwest for the first down. So they've come up big on 3rd and long before. Let's see what Lee can do here.
Gotta watch Kraft. Look at Willard.
And Willard will get it.
That guy is amazing, Randy. He has no business at 180 pounds playing nose guard, beating guys seemingly twice his size, but he does it time and time again. And Lee almost grabbed his face mask.
He was trying to stiff arm him, but he looked up and Willard had him, and Corey Mercer, wasn't far behind there.
Well, Lee is so tall, when he went out to stiff arm him, he almost did one of those Three Stooges poke you in the eyes things there.
Now it will be Lee to stay in to punt. He's standing back at the Wonder 10-yard line. Northwest should get great field position here with any return. That one almost blocked. It is high. Pretty good kick. And gets away from Smith and takes a decent roll down to the 45-yard line. So Northwest has had good field position. Just got to move the ball.
They need points, though, Randy. They've got a golden opportunity here with the Wonders without their kicker, without their starting quarterback. They've been able to move the ball, but they haven't been able to punch it into the end zone. And the main thing they've got to solve now is Josh Lee on the blitz. They haven't been able to pick that up for the last 3 series now. If they don't pick that up, it's going to be a long, long night, and that 0 will probably stay on the scoreboard. They've got to find a way to get that blocked.
Of course, Lee going both ways tonight, so that's got to take its toll a little bit. Here's a straight drop, forced out of the pocket is Wood. Now he sees a receiver, middle of the field. It's picked off by the Wonders, and here comes Josh Lee. He's doing it all tonight. Returns to the Northwest 37-yard line. How about that for stepping up and taking charge tonight?
He's kicking, he's throwing, he's handing off, he's intercepting, he's sacking the quarterback. What hasn't he done tonight? Watch this. He's flushed out of the pocket here. Woodham rolls, buys himself a little more time, and he never saw Josh Lee coming back from the other side.
Lee read it perfectly and comes up with a big turnover. If he keeps playing like this, Coach Hart, you see, probably let him drive the bus home.
The guy who really broke that play up was Des Williams. He flushed Woodham out of the pocket and forced him to roll.
Now Lee will stay in at quarterback with the I formation. And they'll toss it to Standback. He cuts back and gets 10, 15, brought down from behind inside the 20-yard line by Mercer. First down Wonders, and boy, I think they're sensing the kill here. They've got that adrenaline pump, definitely got momentum here.
Well, they do indeed, and now look at him making those moves. I'm telling you what, Standback has a pocket full of them, and the Wonders can go up by 3 touchdowns if they can punch one in here.
He has averaged almost 8 yards a carry this season. That's a pretty good offensive line surge, giving him some room to operate. And the toss will go this time. Caldwell trying to get his way, and flags all over the place. That was pretty blatant. Lips come out there. Probably one of the guilty guys.
Yeah,
they held him a little bit too long.
I think they were trying to block Robbie Cook. Check it out. You'll see it easily in your picture right there. See that? He's got a handful of jersey there as he's trying to ride him out.
Robbie Cook, hard to block. You gotta fudge a little bit.
They held him and they hit him in the back. So which one are they going to pick? It's the hold.
And that'll be the big penalty with 3:55 to go here in the first half. Wonders kind of beaten themselves, but they've been able to overcome a lot of these penalties here in the second quarter.
Ever since Harden left the game, Randy, the Wonders have continually shot themselves in the foot.
Now Josh Lee looks over the defensive front of Northwest. And we've got officials hold up right now. And we'll confirm that Bob Moore's not going to let nothing get by him tonight.
I still think there's some movement both ways on the offensive line, and maybe the officials are just, saying, well, we got to let them have something. But it still seems like there's an awful lot of movement both ways that the officials are kind of letting them fudge on a little bit right now.
Well, he's satisfied with whatever
I think they were trying to make sure the down was right. I think maybe the chain crew on the far side had second down flipped over on the board there, and they wanted to make sure they had it corrected.
They give them a penalty, and now Kannapolis indecisive, and they will burn their second timeout of the first half with their third timeout. So they are out of TOs here with 3:28 left before halftime. With Woody Kane, Randy Whitby, and the entire Metro 11 production staff back on hand. Our game of the week, and it's been a good one so far. Right now, the Wonders with a critical drive here in the final 3.5 minutes of the first half. Got the work cut out for for him as they look at 1st down and 20.
They're still having trouble getting set on what they want to do. Lee is looking over toward the sidelines to make sure they've got the right setup.
He's got to wait on the officials to let him play here. I think we got everything on the same page here. Single setback for the Wonders. And they'll toss it to stand back, and he looks for the block. And it's not there much, and just trying to hurdle everybody.
Man, that had to hurt. It looked like they bent it 2 different ways that time while he was in the air.
Stirred but not shaken, I guess.
Take a look at it again. Pitch. He looks like he's got some room there. Pretty good block by Lipscomb, but Willard and Mercer make a nice recovery to get him down.
Line of scrimmage at the 26-yard line for the Wonders. Lee fumbles the snap and will have the fall on it back at the 29, and then the pile kind of catches up.
This has just really turned sloppy lately, Randy. You had the interception by Northwest. The ball's been put on the ground a couple of times by the Wonders. They put the ball on the ground, I think, 4 times a week ago, but they were able to get most of them back. They did get 5 interceptions a week ago. They've already got 1 here tonight.
All this after a flawless opening drive by the Wonder offense.
And that was the last real nice-looking thing we've seen. Ever since then, it's kind of gone downhill in terms of the aesthetics.
3rd and 23. Here's Lee. Pressure. He'll go deep. Single coverage in the end zone. And intercepted. Incomplete. Coverage that time was number 2.
David Zach. He almost had it. I think he had it, Randy, but when he came down, the ground helped knock it loose. He was definitely, watch Mercer on the outside there. He almost got to Lee. The ball hangs on him a little bit, and he did have it. That may have been a good offensive turn defensive play back there, pulling it out.
Yeah, Blair Harton had to play corner that time. And now, the Wonders out of field goal range. We'll just wait and see as they pile. Let's see.
It would be a 47-yarder from here.
So they're going to go try to get what they can here. 4th down. From the Northwest 29-yard line. Back to the I formation. And Josh Lee with a play fake. Pressure coming. He dumps it over the middle. What a hit.
Oh, my goodness. Brandon Smith, Randy. You want to talk about separating a guy from the ball now.
Let's check on the receiver, and it looked like Durant Lipscomb, and he is very, very slow to get up. This is a major collision right here.
Duran may not be able to tell you who he is right about now, but what a lick from Smith. He was wide open, in stride, and then kapow. Ouch. Wow.
If he'd held on to that football, that would have been...
He would have been a hero. He would have been my hero if he'd held on to that one. My goodness.
The officials have pointed Durant and said, this side is your sideline, so he's got to be seeing a couple of stars on that. So the ball goes over on downs. Northwest with 1:45 remaining before halftime. We'll try to get something on the board there. You see Lee faking the blitz. Now he'll pull back on defense for the Wonders. Woodham with the fake, buy some time, got it all in the world, cuts it over the middle and through behind the receiver. He had Carmichael, and a flag is down at the line of scrimmage.
And it's way over on the far side of the field next to the Kannapolis sideline, so let's see what the call is going to be. Woodham bought himself some time with the roll, but ineligible man downfield, and that happens sometimes when the quarterback has a lot of time back there. The offensive linemen think, well, the ball's got to be gone by now. I'm going to go find somebody to hit.
Good coverage by the Wonders secondary. They have kind of tightened things up a little bit on Mr. Woodham here in the last couple of series. And, Coach Pageant, Coach Gilworth, not pleased the fact that they were penalized on that. Try to work on that, make some adjustments here at halftime, which is 1 minute and 39 seconds away. Stay tuned at halftime. We've got 2 great bands for you. Performances by the marching Trojan Regiment.
Push him back to about the 25. Here comes Lee.
And the pressure is there. All angles, and they will bury him. Lee Basinger got a hold of him by the ankles, and there was some other help back there inside the 20-yard line. Basinger's been in the backfield more than maybe the Northwest running backs.
Chambers and Lee, both linebackers on that side, came in, and again, when they pick up the linebackers, they couldn't find anybody else to block Basinger, and he went almost untouched to the quarterback that time.
Well, Bill Whiteman will be handing out all kinds of accolades at halftime, the defensive coordinator.
Well, we talked with Coach Whiteman on the Headliners program. You know, the Wonders gave up a lot more points than they're accustomed to early in the season, but he preached, just be patient, we'll get better, we'll come together, and they have. They've shut out 3 of their last 4 opponents.
Inside a minute to go, throwing on second down, it is complete, and getting out of bounds, and a smart call there for Carmichael, and that will stop the clock and save a timeout with 47.7 remaining.
Again, some penetration by the Wonders, but that time Northwest did a pretty good job of picking it up. Also looked like a 3-step drop that time by Woodham as well. There's Coach Whiteman, the defensive coordinator, right in the middle of your picture in the shorts. And he really has done a fine job with a lot of new faces on that defense, and they gave up a lot of points early in the season, but they've gelled, they've slowly come together, and they have really come out and played well the last month.
Third down and 11 to keep the drive alive. Woodham pitches back, and Roseborough shakes one tackle, and they were trying to catch maybe the Wonders thinking pass and let's go with a run. They got a few, but it'll be far short of the first down, and looks to me like they may not even have to punt this thing because the clock running down as we see the pitch.
Well, that time the linebackers, Chambers and Lee, came up and showed blitz and then pulled out of it. Had they come in, they might have been able to, Northwest might have been able to run around them.
I don't believe the Trojans will even have to run this play because the play clock is lower than or actually higher than the game clock. So they caught a break there, and now Kannapolis says, we know what you're doing. We want the ball back.
Wait a minute. They don't have any timeouts left.
Well, apparently we missed one.
Didn't Harden call one on the initial drive, and then Lee called 2? Isn't that right?
We may have misfigured somewhere, but apparently maybe they weren't credited with that, but Kannapolis, with 9.5 seconds to go, is going to get credit for that timeout. We know that's definitely their last timeout now.
Well, it's got to be.
Coach Paget says, well, kick it out of bounds, or kick it, just don't, he's talking to that special teams there, and they've already been burnt once tonight, and we're lucky not to relinquish a touchdown, as you see the Wonder sidelines.
Well, Ribbons, the guy who will be back there to receive the punt, he can take it. He almost broke one earlier, did break one a week ago, so that's definitely the order of the day. Don't kick it at him and give him a chance.
If you kick it out of bounds, does time elapse? You just don't want to give the Wonders any more plays than they have to here to go into the break. You got to be feeling lucky, I think, if you're Coach Paget, or fortunate to be down only 13-0.
Yeah, and keep in mind that they will get the ball first coming out after halftime.
So Brandon Smith called on to do the chores here. Wonders set for the return, and Smith gets a line driver. He kicks it up. Well,
that's what he wanted.
Takes a bounce, and finally picked up by Ribbons. Here we go, and he will go down, and over 9 seconds run off the clock, but there is a flag, so we'll wait and see. Does the half end on the penalty?
And, Ribbons might have been better served there, Randy, just to fall on it to give his offense a shot. You got just what you wanted out of Brandon Smith. It's going to be a clip against the Wonders to push him further back, and they'll decline it and end the half.
That'll do it. And it's been an interesting battle between 2 county rivals. The Wonders, #1 in the state, lead it 13-0 here at the break. Don't go away. 2 great bands for you at halftime. Coming up next. Glad you joined us here at Trojan Stadium. 13-0 our halftime score. A.L. Brown on top of Northwest. And some crucial plays, some big plays. Let's take a look first at some numbers for you. And obviously Kannapolis with the lead in that category.
Well, they did a good job. A lot of that rushing yardage came in that opening drive where they just marched crisply down the field. 8 first downs to 3. Passing stats, 4 out of 7, 7 out of 11. 1 turnover for each team. 6 penalties for 35 yards for Kannapolis. Most of that was because the offensive line and Josh Lee had trouble getting in sync, but Well, it's still 13-0 at half. It could have been a lot different. Going back to our keys to the game, defense, we said Kannapolis had shut out 3 of its last 4 opponents. They've pitched a shutout here in the first half again as well. They've also got an interception, and the blitz is a big factor for the Wonders right now. On special teams, you had the big run back by Rivens. You also had a missed extra point by the Wonders as well. Loitering made legal. The Northwest Trojans are indeed hanging around. They're only down 13-0 right now. The 12th man, the crowd has indeed been into it. And then trick or treat, the weirdness and the wild stuff that happens around Halloween time, that would have to be all the injuries we've seen in the first half. And speaking of that, we do have a couple of big plays to show you from the first half now, some of the action going on in this game. The first one is that huge hit over the middle by Brandon Smith. You see Lee going back, he fires it over the middle right there to Lipscomb, and he is separated from the ball by Brandon Smith. And we also have a look at what we believe was the play where Justin Harden got injured in the first half. He ran the ball, and we think that maybe this was a play where he got injured on. We'll check it out and see if we can tell what happened when he went down on the hit. Now here he is. He's going to take it and go around toward the right side, and let's see if we can tell what happened right here. He fakes, comes back up the middle, and it didn't look like anything all that spectacular, but you see right there, he's grimacing in pain.
You know, definite giveaway there. And of course,
just the angle maybe.
And Josh Lee has come on and filled in admirably. This kid, like I said, stepped up to the occasion, and I guess that's what you need in big games. And Josh Lee has done a fine job. And we, of course, had some other serious injuries in the first half. Michael Anthony, the punter, we believe a neck area injury. Philip Jackson, understand he was injured as well. Both were taken to the medical facilities where they can treat those injuries, and we wish them the best. And it's always a scary moment when you see kids go down, and especially in the neck area.
Well, this opening drive, Randy, will be a big key in determining what kind of adjustments Northwest made in the locker room. The biggest thing is they could not handle the left side of the line there for Kannapolis, primarily because of the blitzes from Josh Lee. If they take this opening kick and march down the field and put points on the board, we're going to be in for a barn burner.
A statement has been made. Sequan Moody, replacing the place kicker, is ready to kick it off here in the second half, and he doesn't get a lot to it. It's finally gobbled up by one of the offensive up guys. That's Jason Hefner, and he'll carry out to about the 32-yard line. Looked like Nathan Blake on the coverage for the Wonders. So not bad field position for Glenn Padgett's Trojans.
Well, actually, I think Blake was the guy who got that ball and ran it back, and I wanted to mention his name because he's the son of Alan Blake, who takes a lot of the pictures out of the Concord Motorsport Park. So it's indeed a small world.
Where kids do grow up, don't they?
Yeah.
Woodham and company set it down, and there's a knee taken. Now, what was that all about?
Boy, I really don't understand that one.
He downed it at the 31-yard line for a loss of 1. And I've never seen it. I mean, I can understand that if you're trying to kill time, you don't do that on the first play.
Well, maybe he didn't like what he saw defensively, or maybe something threw him a curveball there, but you would think he would at least just throw it away. Really unusual.
A loss, actually, of 2. On 2nd and 12, here we go with the play fake. Woodham now with some time. Complete. And a first down, Northwest making the catch as Roseboro shuffling out of the backfield for Northwest.
Nice play and a nice touch on the ball by Woodham. Again, some excellent ball fakes here, a little deception. Get the Wonders to hesitate a little bit, get the linebackers to hesitate primarily, and it goes for a first down to Roseboro.
They got to fake the reverse, and that had some folks fall and run away, and buys you a couple of more seconds, and sometimes you don't even need that much. At the 45-yard line, Northwest with their initial first down here in the second half. Quick count, Woodham pumps once, now faces a lot of heat and gets it underway and underthrows. Well, Des Williams was showered down on him at the last minute.
Justin Chambers kept him from throwing the ball initially when he wanted to. The linebacker got a little penetration and jumped high in the air and forced Woodham to hold it a little while longer, and Chambers at 6'3" can get up in the air and gave Woodham no room to throw it.
Woodham completing nearly 50% of his passes for 16 touchdowns coming into tonight's game. He's only had 8 interceptions. So he and Harden had pretty much almost identical stats except for the picks. 2nd and 10. Woodham over the middle, picked off Wonders, and coming back the other way is number 31 for Kannapolis, and he will be written down. That is Jason Brown at the Northwest 32-yard line. And kind of a pass behind the receiver, it looked like, and the Wonders were waiting.
Well, he threw it into a lot of traffic. That was the main problem, and there were all white shirts around the ball that time, and just no real room to get that one through. And the Wonders are right back in business here, deep in Northwest territory.
Jason Brown, a 5'9" junior, and that's the second Wonder pick of the night. As we show 10:37 left, third period. Kannapolis with a 13-0 lead, and Josh Lee will lead them out. See what kind of adjustments they made. I guarantee you they've kind of stopped that jumping off sides and going early. Lee with a pitch to stand back, trying to turn the corner and wins.
Brandon Smith has come to play tonight, Randy.
Smith came up, read it all the way, and came. Nice blue streaks off his shoes that time. He showed us some speed coming up.
Yeah, well, he's got the shoes taped, so if he has a blowout, he can keep going.
Brandon Smith, outstanding junior.
Watch 3 right here.
Just had the angle and a loss. Actually, they're going to say no gain, but it looked like he lost a little. Sandback had some room, but it closed quickly. Wonders from the I formation on 2nd and 10. Looked like movement that time, and on the delay, going nowhere, a stand back.
Willard and Mercer came storming right up the middle that time and broke that play apart before it could ever get going, but give credit on the tackle.
David Hill.
Yeah, right there.
They forced him David's way, and David did a good job. He's 6'3", 250 pounds. And a senior in that defensive slot. Lost to the 35, so it brings up 3rd and 13.
Well, both defenses have come to play here in the second half, haven't they?
This is where Josh Lee has excelled on 3rd and long. He drills it deep on the fly. Incomplete. Good coverage that time. Trying to hit Blair Harden. And another speedy back there, Brandon Smith, on the coverage.
David Zach was back there too, number 2. And he did an excellent job of coverage that time. Just didn't give Harden any kind of a chance at the ball.
So Lee will try to pin him deep here as he's standing back around midfield. As you see Coach Glenn Padgett.
And Lee is going to be one tired kid after this game.
6'2", 200 pounds. He's a lot of kid.
And now the Wonders get the numbers right.
You can't have 12. You can try it, but they might catch you. High kick, beautiful kick by Lee. They get away from it. Now does it turn over? Oh, it takes a great Wonder roll and will be down inside the 10-yard line, or actually a Wonder bounce to just about the 8-yard line is where they'll spot it.
You know, Randy, this kind of feels like one of those games that we've seen many times from the Trojans, especially this year. You know, Concord let them hang around and hang around and hang around. South Moran let them hang around and hang around, even though it felt like those two teams had control of the game against Northwest. If you let this team hang around too long, they generally find a way to get it done.
Now let's see what the Wonder defense is doing. Lee fakes the blitz, and now they'll do with the run, and good yardage up the middle. Breaking out of it is Roseburg. He'll have the first down to the 22-yard line. First time they've really, you see what happens up the middle, and
just some nice moves. He did have some room here on the left, but a lot of this he does by making moves back inside, and looked like Harden finally brought him down at the end of the play.
Had him strung out there, and good offensive line trap there. Move it to the 22, a little bit better field position for Woodham and company. And they'll go to Willard. He stopped at the line of scrimmage, stood up at maybe a half a yard. Lee Basinger on the tackle again. Basinger has lived in the Northwest backfield.
He's having a huge game, Randy, and it's Josh Lee as well.
They're just winning it in the trenches right now. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Most of the time they have been winning since the second quarter on.
There's Coach Glenn Padgett.
Do they throw the ball here on 2nd and 10? They're going to hand it off, and got about a yard, maybe 2 that time.
Well, the Wonders doing a better job of reading all that misdirection that the Trojans are throwing at him now. And this has been the danger point for the Trojans. Third and relatively long. You know it's a passing type situation, and the Wonders have been all over it virtually all night.
Roseboro averaging over 6.5 yards a carry. And 3rd and 8 coming up. 3 wide receivers for Woodham. Short drop this time. Slant complete, first down, spinning out Carmichael into Wonder territory at the 48-yard line. This is an exciting receiver to watch.
A lot of fun to watch indeed, and that is a play we've seen time and time again from Northwest Cabarrus. Woodham to Carmichael on the slant. And he just fights his way for about 8 or more extra yards after the catch.
Well, that'll get you good field position, and now the deepest penetration since, I guess, maybe they're early in the first half for Northwest into Wonder territory at the 48. Wood up to the air again. Good protection. Now he's being flushed, and will go down at midfield. Mason.
Yeah, I was going to say, guess who?
He tackled him. He got it. It was like a delay about 5 yards later.
Basinger, as you said, Randy, is just living in the Northwest backfield tonight. He has just had an exceptional game. The coaching staff praised him last week after the East Rowan game, saying he's just getting better and better and better every week. And, boy, if he gets much better, nobody will be able to do anything with him.
They'll have Carmichael along with Brandon Smith split to the top of your screen this time. For Ryan Woodham and company. Go with the run and a good hole. They'll have Carmichael along with Brandon Smith split to the top of your screen this time. For Ryan Woodham and company. Go with the run and a good hole up the middle. Roseboro almost breaks it the distance down near the 30-yard line. It was Charlie Fox hanging on for dear life.
Nice job, and this is when Northwest is most effective, Randy. Pass, run, pass, run. They don't give you a chance to draw a bead on any one thing, and Roseboro is finding some nice room provided by his offensive line, and the Trojan fans aren't sitting down very much. The Wonders want to call a timeout and regroup.
19 yards on the running play with 6:10 to go in the 3rd period. Halfway through the 3rd period, Randy Whitley along with Woody Kane and Metro 11 production folks back. And this is shaping up a little bit tighter game here. Northwest with their best field position in quite some time. First down from the 31. They go with a little misdirection and hit it up the middle. Willard fumbles the football. The Wonders have jumped on it.
My goodness. And he had a big game going there, Randy, and they just pulled it out.
Making the fumble recovery was Charlie Fox, who I guess has taken the football.
Take a look again. He gets through okay here, but it was Harden who stripped him. Blair Harden went up there and got an arm on the ball and stripped it loose. Well, every time Northwest gets deep into Kannapolis territory, something bad happens to him.
16-yard line. And that was a surprise play because Willard, we know, run the ball. It's the first time he had carried it all night, I believe.
Oh, he had one
maybe
more.
second time, excuse me. Just tried for a little field position, and believe me, there's a ball carrier under that pile there.
He's in there somewhere.
A giant swirl going on down there.
You know, we saw that against Concord and against South Moran, Randy. They use Roseboro a lot. They go to Carmichael a lot. And then all of a sudden you kind of forget about Willard and he breaks a big one on you. And that was what was going on right there. But just a great strip by Blair Harden to give his team the ball back.
Northwest had finally got their offense on track and was seeing something on that, particularly that left side of the line. And they were nailing it. This guy can nail it. They nail him. You got to get him early. And David Hill did, or excuse me, Robert Williams did. Or Stanback may have got away.
Check it out. He does have a big hole here, but a nice open field tackle by Robert Williams.
5'10" senior with an outstanding play. Now it forces the Wonders into a 3rd and 6 from their 21, and they'll change a little bit of personnel. Ryan Kraft is in. Blair Harden is in as a wideout. And Justin Chambers, the tight end, sets up on the left side. From the eye, Lee fumbles the snap, picks it up, and actually got about a yard. He was lucky he got possession back.
And this is the problem, Randy, when a new quarterback comes into the game, the guys on the offensive line aren't used to him, and in particular, the center is not used to him. One of the Northwest players is hurt on the field. Can't pick up the number right now, but on his back in a lot of pain is, or check it, yeah, one of the Trojans. It's Mercer.
Corey Mercer, a little shaken up with 4:32 to left in the third period.
And they really can't afford to lose him.
We'll step away and be right back. Here, Northwest, you see Mercer walking off under his own power, and that's too tough a customer not to be back, and he will be back.
Well, the scary thing is Jackson walked off under his own power,
yeah,
too.
That's true. It's like that trick or treat deal we were talking about.
Yeah.
Josh Lee, let's see if the Trojans come after him here as the Wonders are in a punting situation. Northwest, I don't know if they had enough guys on the field. They call a timeout, and that's one of those, man, you would love to have that back at the end of the game if you have to call an unnecessary timeout. Because we were just coming out of an injury timeout.
I think they had 11 on there, but something sure didn't look right. At least they didn't like what they saw.
Usually the first thing you look for is there a guy back there to receive it after they kick it? And he was back in position, so.
Well, now they'll let you go with 10, but you can't go with too many.
Right.
If you want to go ahead and go with 10, that's your problem.
Well, I've been asked by a good friend of ours who I had a chance to visit during halftime, are we doing that Bell game next week? And I think we are, aren't we?
Boy, if we preempt that thing, we're all going to be in trouble.
And that could only mean one thing. What, Headliners Wednesday at 8 o'clock live in our studio, and there's that man. He'll be there, along with probably a few other special guests. He always likes, Bruce likes to.
Hey, there's Show and Klutz right beside.
Yeah, Shelwyn might be there. You never know. Shelwyn getting a little airtime, and Easy Smith will bring in a few surprises as well, and we'll talk a little football about that thing called the Bell, but it might be the conference championship. Has been the case a lot in the 1990s.
And Brandon Smith is standing at his 43-yard line, giving a lot of respect to Lee's punting ability.
Let's see if Northwest comes after it. They're showing 10 guys poised, and they're coming. Didn't get it, but boy, Lee gets this one up above the light standards. Taken at the 41, and obviously they came with the rush, and there's nobody back to block, and the Wonders with 1, 2, 3, about 7 white shirts in that vicinity. 1 yard on the return.
Just all over it. And now the players on both sides, Randy, beginning to jaw at each other a little bit as they walk off the field. You've only got 4 minutes and 13 seconds in the third quarter. Northwest needs to get some points on the board here shortly if they're going to make a statement that they're here to play in this game. They've moved the ball well, but they've had a couple of big turnovers. They've had some penalties when they got deep in Kannapolis territory. They've been thrown back by blitzes when they got down there. They've got to find a way to answer the Wonders.
Ryan Woodham, play fake, rolls, pressure coming, and Woodham gets away momentarily upfield, almost intercepted. He threw it right into the hands of Blair Hardman. Blair says, what am I doing?
Yeah, he'd like to have another crack at that one because he had it in his hands and all kinds of daylight in front of him. Take a look at it again. Lots of fakes here and then some pressure. Here comes Chambers, almost gets it. And finally, Woodham realizes he has to get rid of it. He was looking for Roseboro, but too many white jerseys around.
An exciting incompleted pass, to say the least. 4:05 to go, third period, 2nd and 10, 42. Well, let's see if they go back to the run. It has been effective, especially that last series. They've come with a blitz. Roseboro shakes out of a tackle and get about 5.
Nice move and a nice job by Northwest to partially, at least, pick up that blitz to give Woodham enough time to make the exchange. Watch it here. Roseboro is making some nice moves.
Wonders trying to force the action, expecting maybe the pass, and you leave something vulnerable when you take the gamble. And Northwest able to take advantage of that play, and they still have 3rd and 5 though.
Well, after that initial drive by Kannapolis, Randy, the defenses have really taken charge.
Carmichael and Moody are the wides to the bottom this time. Here is Woodham on the keeper. He'll have a first down as he stretches out. And that's something, just mix it up, and you keep them guessing on defense. And to the 45 they go, and they'll move the sticks.
Nice fake here to Willard. The Wonders go for it, and then just enough of a seam for Woodham to pick up the first down. And Again, Randy, this is when Northwest is most effective. They use a host of different players to move the ball down the field, and it's hard to just lay back and draw a bead on any one guy.
Do the orange crush. All these pom-poms are loose. They're losing a little bit of fluffiness there. They've shook them a lot tonight. Woodham with all kinds of time now. Sees a receiver over the middle, complete to Mooney. And it's a first down inside the Wonder 35-yard line. Mooney was the guy with a big touchdown against Concord several weeks ago.
And the key here is, Randy, they give him all kinds of time. Nice block up there by Willard on Chambers to buy Woodham plenty of time to let his receivers take care of business downfield. And again, this is the area where Northwest has started to go backwards.
Down there again, this time at the 33-yard line. Ryan Woodham sets him down, and they'll keep it on the ground, and a good hole opens up off the right side for Roseboro, who is starting to get a little confidence. You see, he's real comfortable right now, and his offensive line is doing a good job.
Well, you can feel the momentum starting to swing a little bit toward Northwest. It started to feel that way a couple of times, but then turnovers have really hurt them. If they can go ahead and punch one in, they will definitely have all the momentum going their way at home with their crowd. And if they get into the fourth quarter down by a touchdown, that loitering thing we've been talking about definitely comes into play.
Roseboro can't get out of the grass, but did good to get back to the line of scrimmage. May have picked up a yard. We'll just see Desmond Williams over there defensively for Kannapolis. I don't blame the Trojans. Run away from that guy as much as possible.
Boy, Des Williams is just one of those guys who's fun to watch play no matter what he's doing. He's a guy who just kind of draws your eye just to see what he's going to do next.
6'3", 235-pound senior who has been to a lot of wars, a lot of playoff battles, and I guess these seniors have those state championship rings, don't they?
He probably can't even remember all the big games he's been in.
We had a pretty good one in '97. Here's Woodham keeps, and depending on the spot, they got down to about the 23, 24-yard line.
Going to be close, but let's see. He didn't get it. The official signals first down.
And the orange pom-poms, a few more feathers come out of them as they shake them.
Basically the same play, Randy, just to the left this time instead of the right that would have picked up the first down for a while ago. And the crowd starting to get a little more into it with every play.
Those shakers were about 3 times the size when they started. I'm just saying, they're losing a lot of debris here.
You could put like a, I don't know, Rogaine on those things or something to grow more.
If they'll make shakers grow, I'll try it.
I guarantee you.
50 seconds to go, third period, and kind of slicing his way inside the 20-yard line is Roseboro. It's rough going now as you're in the red zone.
Roseboro is getting a little bit of a seam, Randy, but a lot of this is because he's making good decisions. And when he is about to take a hit, he angles sideways to make sure that he doesn't take a huge lick and he can fall forward, and that's what the good backs do.
Let's see, the play clock shows 15 seconds now and 18 seconds in the quarter, so they got to get up there and get this one on. 2nd and 7, and up the middle, this is Willard, and he'll have penetration inside the 15-yard line.
And that should wrap up the quarter.
And now they'll have to walk all the way down to the other end, which is kind of the way it's gone all night long. 3 quarters in the books, 12 more minutes at least in regulation between 2 arch rivals.
Thank you for watching Time Warner Cable's Metro Channel 11.
Well, as we return to Trojan Stadium, we're getting a little bit deeper into the rounds in this prize fight between these two old boxers here.
And a huge play coming up here, 3rd and 1. You got to watch Woodham keeping it. If you're on the Kannapolis defense, he's burned you for first downs twice.
Single setback. Behind Woodham. Checks his 4 potential receivers. They go up the gut. Roseboro's got the first down. It'll be actually, depending on the spot, maybe 1st and goal. Be very close, right at the 10-yard line. Northwest fans have been on their feet. Between the corners, Kannapolis fans came on their feet. What is? We watched the replay, and it's like the fans are battling now.
Well, you mentioned something, Randy, talking about Kannapolis winning the war up front in the first half. Here, as the third quarter has worn on and we've gone into the fourth quarter now, it looks like Northwest is beginning to win the war up front.
First down, and they will go with the Roseburg up the middle. Touchdown, Northwest. Willard, excuse me. They faked a Roseburg. They faked me out.
The forgotten guy. Just when you think he's not going to do anything, he scorches you. And I don't think anybody knew where he was. Look at that. He just bounces off tackles, and they thought he was still in the backfield.
I did too. Well,
that guy plays hard all the time, doesn't he?
Is this place alive or what?
Well, we've got a game now.
Yep. The lottery. Boy, how'd you think of all that stuff?
I didn't think of it. Our director, Ted Lakitis, thought of that one.
Big extra point here now. This will get them to within 6. And it is blocked. Partially blocked and no good, and a flag. That's going to be roughing the kicker. So they're going to get maybe a penalty, and we'll just see. A chance maybe to go to 2.
Well, I don't think you want to go to 2 because the Wonders have already missed an extra point. And they dove to get the block, but then they couldn't stop the momentum and ran into the kicker. And so Northwest is going to get another shot. If the Wonders had made that extra point on the bad snap in the first half, you might go for 2 here. But all you've got to do is stay on track with your extra points, and you've got a shot. You can take the lead, just standard procedure.
So they'll tee up a little bit closer for Adam Brown, the extra point guy. And here's a good snap and hold. The kick is up. This is through the uprights. The Wonders almost got it, but it ticked on through. Timeout on the field. 11:36 to go. 13-7. Kannapolis on top of Northwest Cabarrus.
Get mad and get even. Beat Cape Town. You know the old saying, don't get mad, get even. Well, that fan wants both.
You can't have both.
That's what they say. You can't have it all, but he wants it.
All they need is a touchdown to tie.
And the extra point. But keep in mind last week, Randy, that overtime thriller, it seems like every time you mention Northwest, thriller is somewhere in the sentence. But against Sun Valley, they broke through on the last play of regulation to block an extra point, sent it into overtime at Sun Valley, and wound up winning it. This team knows how to play late in games. The problem is, so do the Wonders. They have a lot of guys who've been in big game situations time and time again.
Ryan State to kick it off for Northwest. And if you're A.L. Brown, you want to get a good return here to kind of stem the momentum. Good, beautiful end-over-end kick. Now a little, who's going to take it? I got it. No, you take it. Here comes Ribbons looking for the wall, and they track him down from behind. He got a good return despite the indecision out to the 29-30-yard line.
Indeed he did, but the biggest factor now, Randy, is going to be the offensive line and Josh Lee getting in sync. If they can't get in sync here for the final 11:28, Northwest is going to take control of this game. They've got the crowd behind them now. They've got the momentum going their way. Kannapolis needs to run some clock here.
What do you think number 25 will probably get the ball? Well, here he is. Marcello stand back, and Robbie Cook on the end waiting on him.
And Robbie Cook did a great job to fight off the block. He was blocked, Randy, but he fought that block off and made a huge play. Watch him at the bottom of your picture here. He fights off a block right there and comes on through to make the stuff.
Loss back to the 28-yard line, 2nd and 12 as we tick down inside 11 minutes.
Need to mention as well, just at the top of your picture there, Corey Mercer is back in the game, number 33. Remember, he limped off earlier.
Single set back, 2 on the wing now, and 2 wide out for Lee. And he drops the exchange, picks it up, fires, and completes. So is it incomplete?
Did he get that?
Finally held on at the 37-yard line. Blair Harden.
Talk about an acrobatic catch, Randy. He fought that one all the way down and finally reeled it in.
There's a lot of fumbles in that play, but it worked.
And what a nice recovery by Lee
leading receiver on the Wonder court. It's third down. They need just over the 40. Stand back. Stop. Ball is loose and
Went out of bounds.
out of bounds. And
How did it get way over there?
can you believe that?
Everybody was piling on in the middle of the field, and the ball was headed toward the Wonder sidelines.
The thing about it is, the Wonders they were stopped short, and that ball went out of bounds past the marker. They could have
Picked it up. He got the first down, yeah.
So it will be fourth down.
I think that one came loose when, after the initial contact, Standback was fighting to try and get across the first down marker.
So Lee will stay in, standing at about the 28-yard line to kick it back to the Trojans, who have all the momentum right now. And Brandon Smith, the Fontaine Jr., stands inside the Trojan 30-yard line. Northwest peels for the return, and Lee has been kicking the air out of it. Fair catch, ball loose. Now who's got it? Looks like the Wonders have come up with it. And they do. I think Des Williams got it.
Oh, my goodness. What a turn. What a turn.
Special teams, Woody.
Yep, that was one of the keys to the game. 4 turnovers for Northwest Cabarrus, and that was a huge one there. Their defense had come up big, giving them a big 3 and out. They were poised to get the ball back in good field position, signaled for the fair catch even, and couldn't hang on to it. Brandon Smith goes off the field with his head down, but he's got to forget about that and get right back in the game.
And an attorney to go in this game. 9:43. The Wonders back in biz at the 34-yard line. And they'll hit the middle, and it will be number 31,
Brown.
That is Brown, who had a pick in the first half on defense, I believe. First time he's carried the ball tonight, I think.
As you watch Brown again, one of the big things that Coach Padgett kept talking about is when the Wonders make big plays, we have to be able to respond. And the officials are stopping the play now. There's a flag on the far side of the field. But Coach Padgett kept saying we have to respond when they make big plays. Whether it's a long pass, a big run back, or a turnover, Northwest has to be able to answer. This is one of those situations he was talking about.
Well, let's see what referee Bob Moore says. He's going to wave that one off. I think that one just jiggled loose. But Padgett said, okay, all right.
He's telling the Trojans to back away from the sidelines. They were kind of getting out there a little closer to see if they could hear what the call was going to be.
Wonders with a chance now, a few more yards. They're in field goal range. A chance to make it instead of a 6-point lead. Boy, a field goal would be huge right now. 2nd and 5 from the 28. Toss to Standback, looking for the corner, hits a good block, breaks the tackle, has the first down, and more inside the 20.
Well, I was about to ask you what kind of range Rush Rollins has, but we figure he's got at least 37 yards in his leg, and that's where he would be now. Great block on the far side by Brown, the ball carrier the play before. He did a great job there on the left side that enabled Standback to turn the corner.
Also, Ryan Kraft held his guy out there off the side. Just kind of didn't really block, just got in the way. And that's all you have to do. There's Kraft 21. He'll split to the top. Hart out of your picture over on the right side. And Josh Lee just keeps it. And a flag is going on.
And let's see what this is all about.
While they sort it out, I think I hear our song. Yeah.
Dead ball against Kannapolis. Procedure. They're going to push him back 5. Man, neither team having a whole lot of success in the red zone.
8 minutes, 15 seconds to go. Coach Harden across the far away, obviously concerned, but would like to get something out of this possession. I feel like they've got a second chance or a new lease on life. And they'll toss it to Standback short side. He's hemmed in, breaks the tackle, but can't get away from the pursuit. It was 52 for Northwest, and that was Justin Taylor. And a flag is down late.
Take a look at it again. Mercer gets through there and slows him, and then Tedder comes up and finishes him. And the officials are in the midst of a pretty long discussion about what the call's going to be here.
Was there a late hit, personal foul of some sort? Perhaps.
And that would be
a dead ball foul, so they'll tack it up.
Oh, my goodness. Another tremendous break against Northwest Cabarrus.
So that will give them first down No, check it.
And Coach Padgett wants an explanation as to what happened. He's trying to get the official to come over there and tell him.
And there's the blind the clock.
And Coach Padgett is really hot. He wants the official to explain that one, and they're moving right on and not even coming over at all.
Actually, he didn't give them a first down. It's actually they lost a yard. It's 2nd and 4. And it'll be Caldwell left side and touchdown, Kannapolis.
Amazing.
With the penalty, the Wonders, and with the turnover, the Wonders new life, and they make the Trojans pay.
Northwest had him backed up. The penalty gets them right back in business, and just excellent running by Caldwell. Nice surge on the left side of the line there, and the Wonders just continue to amaze.
They got his 2nd touchdown of the night, and now Kannapolis is calling a timeout. They have a 19-7 lead. I guess the decision, is it 1 or is it 2? They'll decide. We'll be back in just a minute. As we return to Trojan Stadium, needless to say, not a very happy coach right now as Clint Padgett has got an explanation from the referee.
He went out there and made the official give an explanation. Wonders are going to go for 2 here to try and get back on the regular scoring after missing the extra point.
We got Chris Gibson in to block. Josh Lee, though, says let's throw it. And he throws in zone complete. And Brown with the reception, and Jason Brown completes the 2-point conversion. That's a full 2-touchdown lead now.
And this is what Padgett was doing during the timeout. He was out there asking for an explanation from the official, who's not really paying him much attention at all. No, we're not going to go back, Coach, he's telling him. But Coach Padgett was very upset at that call. It really gave the Wonders new life because they were bottled up, what, 2nd and 19, was it?
Yes.
And then they had 2nd and 4 instead of that, and take it in for a touchdown. And all of a sudden it looked like Northwest had Kannapolis backed against the wall. Now they're in a position, actually the score is 21, but now they're in a position of having to throw the ball. And that is when Kannapolis has been most successful defensively, when they know what Northwest has to do. Northwest, when they mix their plays and march down the field, Kannapolis couldn't draw a bead on a player. Now they know Northwest has to come out and throw with 7.5 to go.
And the Trojans have to make it happen, really, on this possession. Coach Padgett knows that, and he knows a game of just a couple of plays. The drop punt, the fumble punt,
4 turnovers.
And the turnovers have been the difference in this game tonight. And good teams, especially Kannapolis, will take advantage and make you pay, and that's what has happened. Now Moody comes forward and gets a pretty good foot into it at about the 15-yard line. Bennett tracked down from behind at the 29-yard line. So with 7:33 left in the ball game,
and Bennett gets up limping a little bit. That was the best kick Moody's had tonight. Keep in mind that the Wonders are without their normal kicker, Michael Anthony, who was taken off the field on the stretcher in the first half.
And you also want to keep in mind the sophomore Philip Jackson, what contributions he could have played tonight as well for
defensive
Northwest.
back, yeah.
Here's Woodham eluding one guy, throwing upfield. They come back for it and making a good catch. The ball is loose, and Kannapolis has
No, he was not.
Wonder football. Roseboro lost it right at the point of tackle. And turnover number 5 against Northwest. And we see it. A good play, though.
Yeah, it was. Nice movement by Woodham to get loose. And actually, I think this is Carmichael. It is. It was Carmichael.
Okay. They just stripped the ball at the point of tackle.
And I don't think anybody, Randy, would tell you that if you turn the ball over 5 times against Kannapolis, you're going to have a shot to beat them. It's a testament to how well Northwest has played. Besides that they're only down 2 touchdowns.
Josh Lee tosses and stand back around the right side for about 6.
25, stand by.
And he's a tough load when he comes around at full speed there. And his offensive line. And you also look at another guy, this guy quarterback, what a job he has done tonight stepping up.
Watch this. Just all kinds of thumping and bumping at the end, and Mercer getting a little upset there with Sean Davis.
And looks to me like
flag. Let's see what it's going to be against Kannapolis. It is.
Might have been a hold. Yep. It's the only thing I could think of right over there. So that'll move it back.
Not only does it move the ball back close to midfield, but it stops the clock again. And right now, that's the last thing in the world Kannapolis wants.
Now they will signal it in play. Coach Hart and his staff over there have got to be, I don't know what they said at halftime, but they've shot themselves repeatedly in the foot here tonight. There's a movement.
It moved, yep.
That's just
left side, Kirkpatrick.
And he doesn't do that. He's too good a ball player to do that. It's just the difference in the cadence. It's got to be, and the fact that Harden's not in there, quarterback, and Josh Lee is.
Yeah, because Kirkpatrick, one of the better linemen in the area, not just in the conference. 10 penalties against Kannapolis now.
And probably 7 of them have been that way.
Yep.
Well, the Wonders are moving, that's about 20 yards they moved back.
And it kept the clock from moving again. Now they started up, but Northwest really needs to find a way to generate a turnover, Randy. Kannapolis, even though they're way in a hole, probably won't throw.
Well, there's almost a turnover. Lee picks it up and makes something happen, and the big junior runs out to about midfield. Got about 5 yards of it back.
And did you see Jeremy Farr, number 55, with that big wingspan? Watch 55 fly over the top here at the end of this.
It's kind of like that Burger King commercial, isn't it?
Oh, he looked like that kid in Fast Times from Ridgemont High. Remember that?
Yeah. Well, we're starting to date ourselves now, folks.
Oh, man. Inside 6 minutes to go now.
Whiters content. They have all the points they need, obviously, but you don't want to make a turnover.
And they're going to take as much time off the play clock as they can every time.
5 seconds, 4, 3, and Lee might get in for a penalty here. They'll be getting off just in time. Toss to stand back, hit in and stop. Northwest has done the job on controlling stand back tonight as this guy, particularly Justin Tedder, also over there Robert Williams.
Watch 52 right there making the play. That's 2 big plays for Tedder.
So 3rd and 18 coming up, no gain. Actually, wait a minute. Yeah, that's right. 48-yard line of Kannapolis, 3rd and 20.
And the main thing, though, Randy, for the Wonders is the clock keeps rolling. That's the main thing they want right now.
Down to 5 minutes left. They come with the blitz, and Lee, I think he may have missed the handoff there, exchange between he and the running back, and just ate one there.
Yeah, I think you're right. This will force a punt. And Northwest, I believe, has 2 left, 2 timeouts left.
So Lee has played linebacker, dominating on defense, has thrown a couple of bullets as David Zack is back deep. He's punted the football tonight. He's playing quarterback.
Northwest is loading it up. They're coming again.
Got to gamble right now with 4:20 left. And beautiful kick.
Wow.
Zack driven back to the 9. And no blocking. And he does a good job to get back to the 17, 18-yard line. So Northwest needs to make something happen in a hurry and then hope for maybe an onside kick or something. You got to look ahead, but you know the advantage is going to be to that Wonder defense right now.
You mentioned a while ago about the good job that Lee has done, even though he's had trouble getting in sync with his offensive line. One of the big keys to this game, Randy, is on special teams. What an excellent job he's done punting the ball. I mean, he has just crushed it every time.
Here's Woodham looking over the Wonder defense. Straight drop. Here comes the pressure. Nowhere to go. And kind of a coverage sack. Number 1, Desmond Williams, I guess, will get credit for the tackle. But you also got to credit 77 in there, him and Kirkpatrick. And Kirkpatrick says, I showed Coach I'll make up for it on defense here. I pulled a little bit early on offense. But a coverage sack, too.
Yeah, the Wonders have loaded up now with extra defensive backs. And they're going to put a couple of them way downfield and with the instructions, don't let somebody get behind you.
Yeah, they'll give you the middle, 10, 15 yards of the soft zone, but nothing behind you. 2nd and 20. Woodham again. Now he'll get hit and stop. And looked like Justin Chambers just came in a glancing blow, but stuck the big arm out, Woody, and knocked him on the ground.
It got him off balance and his knee touched down, and that was awful close to being a safety. Watch it here. You'll see 9 come into your picture right there. And trying to spin away from him was Woodham, and he just lost his balance.
Back to the 4-yard line as we are inside 3 minutes to go. Northwest now huddling in their own end zone.
And this is the difference when the Wonder defense knows you have to throw it. They don't have to honor the run at all.
That defense given up only now 2 touchdowns in the last 5 games. Woodham has it blocked at the line of scrimmage. Somebody batted it down, so now they'll be forced to punt it with 2:40 to go.
My goodness, the Northwest offense went nowhere that time. Absolutely nowhere but backwards.
Keep in mind, Kannapolis with the lead here, and they hold on to win this game, Woody, they will be assured of a playoff spot.
Yeah, and coming into this game, there was still the chance that 4 teams could have wound up tied for the FPC championship.
Northwest will see its hopes greatly diminish, although not mathematically eliminated. A lot of things have to happen, and a good punt this time. And now Ribbons fields at about the 45, looking for the wall. Gets 1 block. Now he needs about 5 black shirts and go down. He ran about 100 yards and gained 3 on the return.
Ribbons has got to be tired after all that. And now with 2:25 to go in the game, again, job 1 for Kannapolis will be stay in bounds and keep the clock working. Northwest is going to have to start thinking about spending some timeouts.
Good job, really, Coach Harden is on. This is a great ball game, and a lot closer, really, played than you're going to look up and say 14-point lead, if that's indeed the final score. But we had a game of it there for a while.
Well, still 2:25 to go.
And Lee will go to the run, stand back, slices down to about the 41-yard line of Northwest.
And they're not signaling for a timeout yet. They want to wait and see if they get them bottled up for a 3rd down play first to not let them run off all kinds of time. And now they're saying that the coaches, why didn't you stop the clock with all that piling on to let them unpile? It's 2:09 to go now, and about 10 or more extra seconds wound off the clock. Williams is going to come out.
Now the trainers are coming out for Northwest, and he's able to get off on his own power.
Well, they had to pull a lot of the bodies off to find out that he was under there, A, and hurt, B.
Recovery efforts.
Yeah,
I'll tell you.
Sitting in the dive team. He's down there somewhere.
Some of the fans starting to trickle out saying, well, we think this thing's over, but
not many.
They just get in the traffic this year. Those guys do a great job trying to get you through the gates as quickly as possible, but it don't hurt to come early, and this guy's coming early. It's Caldwell down to the 22-yard line. And he's got a couple of touches tonight. They worried about a stand back, but this has been the guy that's hurt him the most, I think.
He really has, and he shows you here he's got some good speed. Mercer finishes him off at the end, but that may be a backbreaker right there.
Inside 140 and running. Wonders just content running the clock out.
And Lee is going to watch that clock tick down as far as he can.
Josh Lee,
snapping.
Josh Lee, I know, always dreamed of playing quarterback on the varsity. He just didn't know he would get his chance
like this
early. Of course, he's the backup to Harden, and ball loose, and I don't know who's got it. It looks like Northwest. Well, it's still loose. It's still going toward the goal line, folks.
Let's see. They say Kannapolis. I thought it was down and guys were all over it, and then it still was squirting down the field.
There's about 16 different chances for folks to get it that time. It advanced itself another 7 or 8 yards.
Take a look at it again. I thought right there it was.
Yeah, I did too.
No, that was the end, but before that it looked like the same situation. The ball was still loose.
That's not an offensive play you would draw up.
No. Inside a minute to go now.
And 1st and goal for Kannapolis. Looks like movement on the left side again for the Wonders as Lee just keeps it. And that will probably, depending on when they blow the whistle, they may not have to run another play. Coach Harden and his Wonders got to feel like they have come over here to Big Orange Country and escaped.
Yeah.
Of course, Woody will talk to him in a few minutes, but heck of a ball game. You knew it was going to be tough and tight and close, and Kannapolis executed perfectly their first opening drive, going to 80 yards and kind of set the tone. And it's always good to get up early on the road. So the Wonders have clinched at least a playoff spot for the 1999 playoffs, as their record now goes to 10-0 and 7-0 in the South Piedmont Conference. Northwest will go to 4-3 in the SBC and 7-3. And we still got one more nervous week to go next week as far as how the playoffs and the final standings will shake out. Back with some post-game comments for you in just a minute. The A.L. Brown Wonders with a 21-7 win tonight remain perfect on the season. Let's go field side. Here's Woody King.
Okay, thanks, Randy. Well, Coach Harden, a real gritty performance by your ball club under some adverse situations. But first off, I got to ask you about Justin Harden and Michael Anthony. What's the latest on those two injuries?
Well, first, Michael, Miss Shope just reported to the team in our team meeting that hopefully after one more test, that within an hour or so he'll be walking out of that hospital. And she's also asked that none of the students and players go down to the night. The hospital has requested that. So, you know, he had pretty vital signs. Everything moved when he left here, but, you know, all the precautions were taken, and we just hope for the best for he and his family.
And then what about Justin? That seemed kind of unusual. We had a replay where it looked like he kind of landed awkwardly on the shoulder.
He did, and it looks like it went out and came back in, and it was awfully sore, and he couldn't lift it. And the doctors will check him Monday for a partial separation, and we'll go from there. And then Duran had a slight concussion and same thing, so we really got boogered up there right quick.
Well, you did, Coach, but despite all that, your team really buckled down and got a tough win against a good ball club.
Well, two things are important. Number one, our football team handled adversity, and we've talked about that. You've got to do it. And when people that you know play regularly and get all the snaps at practice get injured, and those guys that stepped in, they handled it well. Number two, I guess my first thought is Glenn Padgett and his staff. What a wonderful job they've done here. The kids played hard. It was a tough football game. I think it was fine entertainment for this community.
One of the things I wanted to ask you about before we let you go, Coach, is back at the first part of the season, you were concerned about how many points your defense had given up. The last, 3 out of the last 4 coming in here, they pitched shutouts. I guess they've come together, huh?
Coach Whiteman would come down the lunchroom every day and say, Coach, just be patient, we'll get there. He does a great job. The defensive staff worked so hard, and they've just gotten better. And a lot of it is the preparation of the coaching staff and the hard work of the players on Monday through Wednesday.
And now that this game is done, Coach, you got one more big one in the conference Friday night.
Well, that's a different ball game than anything else. It's a lot of fun. I coached in my first one 11 years ago, and it's always been real special, and the kids enjoy it, and they'll start Monday morning when school starts.
Okay, Coach, congratulations on a fine win, and look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you so much.
Okay, let's go back upstairs to Randy for a look at the final stats.
Okay, we'll take a look at some final numbers as the massive traffic jam continues here as the fans exodus. There you see the rushing yardage picking up a lot in the second half for Northwest Cabarrus, and passing yardage. And then from the final total, unbelievably, and as the game got a little closer, so did the final stats. 11 first downs, but the turnovers, that's the big news for Northwest Cabarrus tonight. Those fumbles at the inopportune time, and a couple of big interceptions for Kannapolis, and the penalty yardage hurt Kannapolis as well. Next week, we don't need to remind you, it's the bell game for Woody Kane and everyone here at Metro 11. I'm Randy Whitley. Hope you'll join us for that game, as we will have headliners at 8 o'clock live Wednesday night in our studio. Easy will be there, Bruce will be there, and a cast of thousands, I'm sure. 21-7, our final score tonight. Thank you for being with us.